Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, it's shaping up to be another absolutely gorgeous day out. It was raining a lot last night and this morning when I was trying to record the sunrise, but the rain has let up and I've got a lot of news to go over, so come along with me on my morning walk and let's talk some news. So first up on the docket, we're talking about Nintendo Switch emulation with Citron, and this is a very interesting, very coordinated release. So Citron has just announced that version 0.8.0 has just released. And this is a special coordinated release. Now for a coordinated release, we don't really see this stuff too often. And anyways here, Citron has coordinated with Ryubing, which is a Ryujinx fork where Citron is Yuzu. TKMM, which stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or Tears of the Kingdom Mod Manager, and also NX Optimizer. So we'll talk about all of these and we'll start out with Citron. And Citron here says major game compatibility updates. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom support breakthrough update. This release brings full compatibility with the latest game versions. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild version 1.8.2 is now fully supported. And The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom version 1.4.2. They've resolved the boot loop and controller crashes. So for specific stuff as to what's fixed, they say boot loop issues caused incorrect HID state implementation, no controller crash on game launch, audio crackling and stability issues with Rev 15 games, and improved performance and stability in both titles. And as for new features here, they say audio system complete Rev 15 implementation. This is our biggest audio update yet, and this should help out with audio issues, stuttering and crashes and even more. And also here, HID sampling number fix, new audio subsystems, audio processing enhancements, and even more. And on top of all of that, there's still even more. There's brand new visual enhancements. They say here, Scale FX filter, new pixel art upscaling, Lanczos filter, high quality resampling, 0.25 times quarter resolution, extreme performance mode, performance monitoring, performance profile guided optimization. They've introduced the PGO build system, 10 to 30% performance boost. They say that this is a two-stage optimization process. Stage 1, instrumented builds collect runtime profiling data. And Stage 2, optimized builds use profile data for intelligent optimization. And on top of all of that, because yes, there's even more. There's a whole bunch of bug fixes, optimizations, UI improvements, and even more. In my opinion, this is an absolutely massive update for Citron. And also, there's a little squirrel here wanting some attention. I'm going to flip over to him right now. I don't know if you can see him right there on the tree, just a curious little guy. How you doing, Mr. Squirrel? I don't have any food for you. I'm sorry. Maybe he just wants some morning news. So moving on, and next up we're talking about NX Optimizer, which is a part of that huge coordinated release. For those who may be unaware, NX Optimizer is an advanced game optimization framework for many games, and is also very famous for stuff like UltraCam. So at the time of filming, NX Optimizer Manager version 3.2.0 has just dropped. And they say this release includes Tears of the Kingdom UltraCam Calamity 3.0 and Xenoblade X UltraCam. They also say here in the release notes, huge thanks to the developers of Citron and Ryubing for getting update 1.42 to work. And huge thanks to the TKMM team for 1.4.2 support and TOTK optimizer implementation. And they also include their 2026 roadmap, which has a whole bunch of stuff on it. Moving on from that, and next up we're still talking about Switch emulation and still talking about that huge coordinated release. Next up here we're talking about Ryubing, which is based on Ryujinx. And Ryubing version 1.3.3 just dropped. So with this latest update to Ryubing, they say here Tears of the Kingdom 1.4 and Breath of the Wild 1.8 support has been added. They've added an LDN game viewer, Hollow Knight Silksong is playable, and UI improvements in many areas. So with this LDN game viewer, they say you can apply filters to what games are shown, including only showing for games you own. And there's even more stuff there for the LDN viewer. They've got an amiibo window overhaul. The main improvement is that amiibos are now displayed in a list in a dock on the left side, with the image of the selected one on the right instead of a drop-down. On top of that, there's CPU improvements, GPU improvements, and even more, including audio improvements where they've added support for Rev 15 audio. Next, we're still talking about this huge coordinated release. In fact, the last part of the huge coordinated release. We're talking about TKMM, Tears of the Kingdom Mod Manager. And taking a look here on their GitHub, and I don't see a brand new release. The latest update was March 30th. So unless I'm missing something here, I'm curious to see what the new release is for TKMM. It was announced that it was part of that huge coordinated release. So maybe they just forgot to hit publish on the release. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to wait and see on that one, but it does look like they did help NX Optimizer and Ryubing and Citron anyway. But moving on from that, and still talking about emulation, but a little bit different. We're getting away from Switch emulation now and talking about DosBox. And there's a brand new video on YouTube titled DosBox Pure Unleashed, with a release date of October 18th. Now, in my opinion here, just like the Switch stuff we talked about, this is also a huge thing. They say here, automatically mount CDs and easy swap disk, launch games directly from zip files, and even more. So on top of that, they say customizable filters, and they also say here, play 3DFX Voodoo games in 4K, and there's even more stuff. If you're interested in it, I would recommend checking out the YouTube video. It's only 5 minutes and 45 seconds long, and I'm really looking forward to October 18th. If you are interested and wanted to learn more about it, like everything we talk about, links will be within the GitHub link in the bottom of the description below. I don't hide my sources. And speaking about Voodoo and graphics cards and that kind of thing, next up here, we're talking about graphics cards. This is really interesting. If you've got a Walmart near you, you may want to check it out just to see if these products are in the clearance bin. But it's being reported that PNY GeForce RTX 5090 GPUs are in clearance bins, and people are picking them up for like $600 and $800 off. Now, I'm not joking with you here. When I first saw the Reddit post, I thought it was completely fake. Maybe someone just had a pricing gun from Walmart and was able to type that up and put it on the box and say, hey, I found a great deal. But it turns out that multiple people are reporting it. So one person saved $600, the other person here saved $880, and they are two different people. Now, it is worth noting this could turn out to be fake, but at the same time, it may be worth checking out Walmart and their clearance bins to see if someone, for some reason, started marking these brand new graphics cards as clearance. Baffling, and the price on these is still expensive even with the clearance price. I mean, they're $1399.99. And also $1,100. I think that's a lot of money to be paying for a 5090. But at the same time, if you're really interested in the 5090 and looking for the most savings, this might be the way to go. No idea why Walmart put these things on clearance. And speaking about deals, next up here, we're talking about Retroid. And I would say that these deals are not exclusive to some clearance rack in Walmart. These are right across the board. So they've announced a brand new price drop on certain devices here. And the devices are the Flip 2 was $229, now $209. The Retroid Pocket 5 was $219, now $199. And the last one here, the Retroid Pocket Mini V2 was $199, is now $179. Now, I don't know about you, but in this current economic climate where we're seeing a lot of price increases, I'm looking at you, Xbox and PlayStation, or even sometimes getting less for the same. I'm looking at you, PlayStation. Anyways, here, I think Retroid is fighting the good fight, and this is really good news overall. Let me know your thoughts. And speaking about fights, Nintendo may have a pretty big fight on their hands in the very near future, or even right now. It's being reported on Twitter, and this is huge. Cyber alert from Hackmanic, and they say here, Crimson Collective hacking group known for the breach on Red Hat now claims to have breached Nintendo. Now, it is worth noting here, this is relatively recent news. It's pretty late breaking news. I don't have the full details as to what exactly has been hacked. There's a screenshot of some file names. But file names don't necessarily dictate the exact data here. Nintendo probably knows, but unfortunately we don't. We can make some educated guesses. But they say here, who said we did not have Nintendo topics files? And speaking about stuff that's been hacked, next up we're talking about Discord, and I would say this is not great news for Discord at all. Anyways, here, the article on Bleeping Computer goes over the details, and they say hackers claim Discord breach exposed data of 5.5 million users. I'd recommend checking out the article for full details on the matter, but I guess Discord says they will not be paying the threat actors who claim to have stolen data of 5.5 million unique users from the company's Zendesk support system. Now, this is worth noting, it is for the support system. However, the data they collected is a little alarming. So here's what Discord is saying. First, as stated in our blog post, this was not a breach of Discord, but rather a third-party service we use to support our customer service efforts. Second, the numbers being shared are incorrect and part of an attempt to extort a payment from Discord. Of the accounts impacted globally, we have identified approximately 70,000 users that may have had government ID photos exposed, which our vendor used to review age-related appeals. And then they say, third, we will not reward those responsible for their illegal actions. However, and this is a big however, and this is right on Bleeping Computer, in a conversation with the hackers, Bleeping Computer was told that Discord is not being transparent about the severity of the breach, stating that they stole 1.6 terabytes of data from the company's Zendesk instance. Now, unfortunately, I don't know who's right here. If it's Discord, if it's the threat actors, I really don't know. We're going to have to wait and see what information comes to light as time goes on. But the threat actors are claiming they had access to the Zendesk instance for 58 hours. 58 hours is a lot of time to get a lot of information, at least in my opinion. So I may side with the threat actors in believability overall. Again, we'll have to wait and see. And speaking about seeing to believe stuff, next up here we're talking about Redmagic. And Redmagic has just unveiled the Redmagic 11 Pro with the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. And water-based cooling. I am really curious to see how this holds up in real-world testing. I'm really curious to see how the water cooling system functions overall and if it's effective or if it's a gimmick. The phone launches on October 17th, so I'm assuming we're not going to have to wait too long to find out the details on that. And it does look pretty cool. I'm curious to see if this is truly innovative or just a gimmick. Let me know your thoughts. And speaking about gimmicks or functional, next up here we're talking about Xbox. And this is being reported over on Moore's Law is Dead, and I've seen it picked up by a bunch of different news outlets and not necessarily always sourced Moore's Law is Dead, but I'm pretty sure this is from Moore's Law is Dead originally. Anyways, Moore's Law is Dead, and I'll drop a video in the GitHub link in the description below. Says that the new Xbox next-gen console APU has leaked for some of the details. It's the AMD Magnus. Now, on a quick side note here, I don't know if this microphone's going to be picking it up at all, but there are some kids on a nearby trail absolutely screaming their heads off. I think one kid's really angry at another one or something. I don't know. But it is first thing in the morning. I'm really surprised they're that loud. On top of that, good luck for me finding any sort of wildlife now. That'll absolutely scare pretty much everything away. Anyways here, the AMD Magnus supports up to 48 gigs of RAM, and I think that's one of the big things people are talking about. So taking a look here, and well, the geese are definitely flying south for the winter. There's a whole bunch of them. I'm assuming we may hear some gunshots as there are hunters around as well. So I'm just trying to be careful here, and I'm on a safe path. I should be absolutely fine. Anyways here, so if you hear some pops in the background, it's the hunters. Taking a look here as well at the information, and it just seems that this chip, I don't know if this is real or not. I highly doubt they'd have 48 gigs of VRAM in this thing, but you never know. I find this really interesting because just a few days ago, or about a week ago, there were reports about maybe Xbox pausing development on future consoles or canceling future consoles and focusing on software. And then Microsoft or Xbox came out and said, no, it's in full swing. And then taking a look here, more things have just conveniently leaked. I am curious to see what happens moving forward with this one and when more details are released. And those geese are also really loud, but I'm glad they're drowning out the noises of the screaming kids. Not going to complain. And speaking about interesting stuff, next up here we're talking about a new shooter. Well, not necessarily new. It's a port of a really old shooter, Zaxxon. And taking a look here, someone has ported this game as a UEFI firmware. No joke here, this doesn't require an OS in order to run. It runs on frickin' firmware. and the game itself looks like it's running pretty well. If you are interested in this one at all, even just to see it in action, I'd recommend checking out that YouTube video because it's highly entertaining and not necessarily practical or going to be widely adopted by a lot of people, but at the same time, it is super, super cool. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. And speaking about games and cool stuff, next up here, we're talking about Into the Grid. And Into the Grid has just announced a brand new release date of November 10th, and that is early access. If you're into deck building and roguelikes and 3D stuff, this may be up your alley. It may be worth adding to your wish list. And speaking about cool stuff you may want to add to your wish list, next up we're talking about another game here that releases November 20th, so 10 days after the previous one. And this one, oh, I might butcher this, but I hope not here. It's still early. I haven't had my coffee. Effulgence RPG. I really hope I didn't butcher that. Anyways here, my brain's just not working. This one looks really cool overall. If you're a fan of ASCII art, this may be up your alley. I think I will be picking this one up. I haven't tried the demo yet, but there is a demo available. If you've played this one, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments below and if it is worth checking out. And also on a side note here, the kids have quieted down a little bit, but I can hear a woodpecker. I haven't been able to spot it yet. There's a lot of foliage here. The leaves for some reason haven't really turned yet. They've turned in a lot of different areas. They've fallen off the trees in a lot of different areas. But where we're camping this weekend, the leaves are still nice and green and just starting to turn. It's wild. So before I go off on a side quest here and start looking for wildlife, which I may do for the next, I don't know, hour, 2 hours or so and see what I see, I'm going to end the video here. This is mainly a news video, so that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff, unless you count that little squirrel. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.